Hello friends, welcome to CEC Live Lectures. Dear friends, taking our lecture forward on internet technologies. Today we are going to talk on web designing using HTML. And for the discussion on the topic, we have with us in our studios Dr. Pavitra Bharadwaj. Dr. Pavitra Bharadwaj is Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science, Jesus and Mary College, University of Delhi. Dr. Pavitra Bharadwaj has immense knowledge as well as immense experience too. So let's take advantages from her experiences and let's try to understand today's topic in detail. Hello ma'am, welcome to the lecture.
Good afternoon. In continuation with our previous lecture on internet technologies and designing the web pages, today again we will continue on the lecture series on HTML itself. So before we actually begin the lecture series, I would like to first tell you that this lecture has been derived from a lot of examples of the lecture have been taken from the book by Jose Remello, and other web sources have been used for the references. So in the last lecture actually we had discussed about the anatomy of the internet, how basically the internet works, and we had seen that the internet is basically a client server platform which uses various protocols for information exchange, and there are a number of services which are provided by the internet. www is just one of them. So www basically is World Wide Web, and it is an interconnection of a large number of web pages which are linked to each other. We had also discussed what is a web page and how it forms a website. So basically a web page is a single document which shows images, text or any other kind of multimedia elements, and all the web pages, when they are interconnected to each other, they form a website. So basically when a website is designed, so there are two aspects to creating and launching a website. One is that you design the client end of the website, that is the end which the user is going to see on the browser, and the other is the server side designing or the server side programming for the website. So when the data is created, the database has to be created at the server, then some logic or some programming is to be incorporated so that the user, when he sends the request, can be processed by the server. So basically we have different technologies that we use for designing for the client and for designing at the server's end. So we are discussing that the client side designing or the websites or the part of the website which the user sees or which we all see as whenever we are using the internet or whenever you are browsing the internet, that site is generally designed using scripting language and HTML. So HTML basically is a markup language. We say it is a hypertext markup language. Markup because it uses a lot of tags and it uses a lot of elements which are used for designing. So HTML is a very simple standard tool which is used by most of the web designers, and now today we have a large number of authoring tools also which are available. So you don't really have to type the entire HTML tags, and these authoring tools, they provide you a very rich user interface so that the process of designing and the process of launching a website online becomes very easy and comfortable for you. So basically HTML, we had discussed a few elements of HTML, that HTML has some basic elements which are known as tags, and we had also seen that tags are of two types. One are the container tags which need to be closed, and the other are the empty tags which do not require a corresponding closing tag. Now what is a tag basically? A tag, you can understand, it is like a keyword which is enclosed in angle brackets. So we will see today the sample HTML document you can see here. So this is a basic HTML page which you see, and here you can see there is HTML. The first tag is the HTML tag which is written, then you write the head portion. So in the head you specify the title of your website or your web page, then you specify the body. So the body is the basic content or the entire description or whatever you want to show on your website is shown in the body part, and then you have a closing HTML. So basically how it works is that as you all are aware that you use the notepad, the most simple tool to design the website or to author HTML web pages is the notepad. So you use the notepad, and in the notepad you can type the commands like they are given here, and you save the file with .html extension. So for example, you create a file and then you save it as my first file .html, and then this file will be opened in any browser, any internet browser like the Internet Explorer or the Google Chrome or the Mozilla Firefox, or any browser which is there in the system can be used to open the file and see. Another important aspect of HTML is that HTML does not give you errors. So basically if you type anything which is not a command or which is not recognized by HTML as a tag, then HTML will simply ignore it and the effect will not be seen in the browser. So it basically ignores what does not recognize, and it does not give any errors to the users. So in the last lecture, we had left the last lecture when we were discussing about lists, that is how you can show text or how you can show data in the form of list. That is, you can have a numbered list of elements or you can have a bulleted list. And the tag that you use for designing a list is OL for the ordered list, that is the numbered list, and UL, that is the unordered list or a bulleted list. Today we will continue with the third type of list, that is called as the definition list. So you can see here the command for creating a definition list is DL, and you type DL stands for definition list, and DT stands for definition title, and DD stands for definition data. So basically you put a DT, and in that you give the definition of the topic, then you give the second title and you give the definition of the second title. So you can see here, whenever you are inserting the DD command, there is an indentation which is occurring so that the text is aligned in that way that it is slightly shifted from the definition topic or the title of the term that you are using to define. So this is a simple tag. So you can see here that DL tag are being used and correspondingly it has to be closed. So DL is a container tag which needs to be closed. Then we can also, there is another important tag which is used. It's a general purpose tag which is known as the block quote tag. So block quote also creates blocks of text which are there in your web page, and within a block quote you can define another block quote. This is known as nesting of block quotes. So nested block quotes means that the indentation levels of the paragraphs can be contained or can be controlled using this. Of course, we use the P tag for paragraphs, but block quote also sometimes helps the designer in aligning the text. So you can see here you use block quote to set up a block of text, and nested block quotes will cause the indentation. So you can see in the example how one block quote is being opened in another block quote, and then you can see in the output as the indentation of the second block quote is slightly more towards the right as compared to the first block quote. Then there are many occasions when you want the browser not to read certain lines. So these are there for increasing the readability of the code. If you are working in a team, you would like to specify or you would like to give some comments about specific elements that you are putting in your code. So these comments or these notes which are only for the designer and you don't want the browser to look at them, these are given as comments. So in HTML there are actually 3 ways in which you can specify the comments. Comments means anything which the browser is going to ignore and not going to display. So in this case you have the first, you can see this is one line of comment, then this is another, the second is a multi-line comment, and the third is in Internet Explorer. Sometimes you must have, and you can see that the word comment and / comment is used in the form of a tag. So comments can be specified using 3 ways: if it's a single line, or it is a multi-line comment, or it can be used by giving the word or giving the tag comment and slash comment. Now we come to a very important topic or a very important area of the internet, and the basic success or the basic achievement of the WWW or the World Wide Web has been due to its capability to interlink a lot of content. When we browse the internet, we see that a large number of pages or a large number of websites, they are so interconnected to each other that while navigating you actually sometimes you get missed from the original point where you started. So this is possible because of a feature which is provided by the HTML language, which is known as hyperlinking. So hyperlinking, basically hyperlink is any text which appears on a web page, and you must have seen that generally this text appears in blue color and it is underlined. And when you move the cursor over this text, you can see that the shape of the mouse pointer also changes to a fingertip. So this means that the particular text or the particular word on which the pointer is a hyperlink, and when you will click on this word or when you will click on this link, you will be taken to some other website, some other web page, or some other part on the same web page. So a hyperlink basically is done to interlink the various pages or the various portions on a single page, or to create links to an external website or an external web page. So we can see that a web page can contain various links that take the user directly to other pages and specific parts of the given page. So these links are known as hyperlinks. Hyperlinks allow visitors to navigate between websites by clicking on words, phrases and images. Thus you can create hyperlinks using text or images available on a web page. So hyperlink is not just text, an image can also act as a hyperlink. You click on the image and you are directed to some other web page or some other part of the same web page. So basically the tag which HTML provides for creating the hyperlink is commonly known as the A tag, and A here stands for anchor. So anchor tag is used to create a hyperlink. So a link is specified using the HTML tag A. This tag is called the anchor tag, and anything between the opening tag and the closing tag becomes part of the link, and a user can click that part to reach to the linked document. So this is the syntax of the anchor tag, as you can see here. The A tag is used, and in this you use an attribute of the A tag which is known as href. Href here stands for hypertext reference, and then you provide the URL. So URL basically is the path or it is the address of the resource that you want to open. Then you provide the text for the link, and then you close the A. So then the thing is that anything which appears between the opening A tag and the closing A tag will become a hyperlink. So whenever the user will click on any of this part or any of this text, then he will be redirected to the URL that has been specified in the A href or in the href attribute of the A tag. So basically we are talking about different types of links here. We can imagine a number of scenarios for hyperlinking are there. First, the most common type of hyperlinking is that you are trying to reach some other website on the internet. The second is that you are trying to reach some other page on the same website. So within your website you find links, like for example you find links for home page on every page. On any page of a website you will see there is a link to go to the first page, which is also known as the home page. So this type of linking is there. Then you must also have seen in where pages they display a large amount of text or a large amount of textual matter, then there is linking within the same page. So when you click on the link, the matter which is under or which is on the page number 2 will scroll up and come in front of you. So you have links like go to the top of the page, go to the bottom of the page. So such links are also there, which are called as links linking between the parts of the same page. So these are known as internal links. So internal linking is linking within the same page, and external linking can be of two types: to another page in the website. So you can have a relative or a local link, or to another page outside your website, which is known as absolute or remote link. And there is a third type of link which is known as the email link. Email link, you must have seen in a large number of websites there is a link called Contact Us. Contact Us is a link that when you click on this link, then the email address of the recipient will be loaded in the Outlook Express or whatever email client you have on your system. So that link can also be, that type of a programming can also be done using the anchor tag or the A tag. So now we will see examples of how A tag has been used. So this is a simple coding here which shows the use of internal linking, that is how you can link portions of the same page. Like for example, you can see here the basic structure of the page remains the same. It is HTML, head, and then title is there. Then you close the head and open the body. In the body we are using the links. You can see in the red color it appears ahref, and then you write #um and you write introduction to internet. So this hash here signifies that the link is on the same page and it is not an external link. Similarly, other links have been created. Ahref is equal to #dois, ahref is equal to #tres. So all these links are there on the same page, and down on the same page you can see the sections of the page have been named by using the tag aname, and name is used to define or to give the name of the particular section or the particular paragraph which will come up in front of the user once the link is linked. So you can see here that href is used to create the link and aname is used to define the portion on the page which will scroll up once the link has been clicked. So similarly you have other links also like aname for the next section and the third section. So this way you can create as many sections on your page using the aname, and on the same page you can have ahref for specifying the link or for specifying which portion of the page is going to be accessed once the link is going to be clicked. So for internal linking it is important to understand that the A tag is used in pairs. One is the ahref tag where you specify hash and the name of the portion on the same page, and the second is you specify the name of the portion using the aname tag. So you can see here this is the output of the previous page that we had seen. So these links have been created. You can see 1, 2, 3 are the links, and the fourth is not a link, it is a normal text. So these links, whenever the link will be clicked, the relevant portion on the same page will scroll up and down in front of the user. The next is external linking. So when we are talking about external linking, we mean that we are going to connect parts of the different website or pages of the same website are linked to each other, or you can also link an external website or an external resource to your current web page. So both these scenarios come under external linking. Now referencing, basically external linking, when you specify the URL or when you specify the address of the web page or the address of the resource, then that is known as referencing. Referencing means how you are specifying the address of the resource in the ahref tag. Please remember, A is the tag and href is an attribute. So you can have different attributes with the A tag. One is href, the other is aname. So when you are specifying the address with the href tag, with the href attribute, you have two ways of doing that. One is known as relative referencing, and the other is known as absolute referencing. Now this basically is related to the structure of directories, folders and subfolders, how we see them. So basically relative referencing, you can see, is when you want to link or include a resource from the same directory or folder, then you can just give the name of the file. For example, here I am specifying ahref is equal to frenchfilms.html, and I am writing click here to view the French films, and I am closing the A tag. So in this means that the frenchfilms.html file is residing in the same folder in which this particular HTML file or this particular web page is existing. So you do not have to specify the complete path of the file, but you only specify the name of the file. This type of referencing is known as relative referencing. So relative referencing means that the file which contains the anchor tag and the file which is linked through the URL, they are both in the same folder, they are both local to each other. So you need not specify the complete path, but you only need to give the name of the file. So this is known as local referencing or relative referencing. The second type of referencing is known as absolute referencing. Now absolute referencing means that you are trying to link a resource, or you are trying to open a page which is not in your computer or which is not in the same folder. So it is an external folder or an external file. So you need to supply or you need to provide the complete path of the resource which you are going to you want to open when the link is clicked. So in this case you provide an absolute path, and therefore this is known as absolute referencing. So you can see here in absolute referencing, the value of the href attribute is the full web address for the page you want to link to, rather than just the file name. So you can see here in the coding also, you specify ahref is equal to, and then you specify the complete path of the files or of the website or of the web page that you wish to open. So the output of this, you can see here, it will appear like this, and when the links are clicked, then the user will be taken to the respective web pages which have been described in the URLs. Next is the email link, how to create a link to email. So in this case what will happen is that you specify the ahref, and along with it you specify a mail to attribute. So in the mail to part, you give the email address that you want the mail to be sent to. So when the user will click on the text send email to ABC, then the Outlook Express or any other email client of the system will open, and the email address abc@gmail.com will be loaded onto the Outlook Express. So in this case what will happen, this is an automatic mailing system. So it directly loads the email address onto the mailing client. So this way emails can also be sent directly with the help of ahref tag. Now along with the attributes ahref and name, there is another attribute that you specify with the A tag, that is known as the target. Now target basically means that when the new file or when the linked file or the web page will open, where exactly will it open? So that area or that portion, how do you specify the location where the file or the web page will open? That is done using the target attribute of the anchor tag. So you can see here a tag which includes a target attribute. So this attribute is used to specify the location where the linked document will be opening. Now in this there are several options that can be specified. The first option is #_blank. So with _blank means that the linked document will open in a new window or a new tab. _self means that the linked document will open in the same frame or in the same window where the parent file is there. _parent means opens the linked document in the parent frame. Top means opens the link document in the full body of the window, and target frame means that the link document will open in the target frame. So, actually this pertains to target frame, means this pertains to frames. So, we will be discussing about frames in the due course, but it is important to understand at the moment that you can control the location where the new file is to be opened. So, you can see here along with the ahref tag, you can specify the path or the URL of the file that you want to open, and along with that the target attribute has been specified. So, the target attribute here we are specifying _blank. So, this means that when the text du will be clicked, the linked file will open in a blank or in a new window or in a new tab. Besides this, we can also create links for downloading files. You must have seen at several occasions where you see where you get a link like download PDF or things like that. So, when you want this, how do you create a link for downloading a PDF? Again, this is a very simple thing. You can directly, instead of in the ahref, you specify the address of the PDF file or the Word document or the zip file that you want to open, and directly when the user will click on the link, the PDF file will be opened or the PDF file will be available for download. So, you can see here, to create a text link to make your PDF or doc or zip files downloadable, we just need to give the complete URL of the downloadable file as follows, and in this you simply provide with the ahref, you provide the full path of the file that you want to be available for downloading, and then you give the link. So, you can see in the output, you see the text download PDF file, and when the user will click on this download PDF file, the file will be available for downloading. So, this is about how you can do various types of linking, and we will be continuing with another portion of the lecture in a short while. Thank you.
With this note, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much for giving us this session. Friends, we are back after a short break, so you are requested to be with us. Thank you. Hello friends, welcome back to this session. Friends, today we are discussing on web designing using HTML, and for the discussion on the topic we have with us in our studios Dr. Pavitra Bharadwaj. Dr. Pavitra Bharadwaj is Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science, Jesus and Mary College, University of Delhi. So let's welcome our guest Dr. Pavitra Bharadwaj and let's try to learn more about web designing using HTML. Hello ma, welcome to the lecture.
Now we will be talking about a very important part of web pages, that is images. We understand that any multimedia element or any web page will be absolutely incomplete if it does not have images. So images actually add life to your content, and it makes your content more appealing to the viewers. So any website which is rich in graphics and images will certainly attract more viewers and more users than any website which has simply textual information on it. So now we will see how images or graphics can be added to your web page, and how these graphics can be used optimally to make the best look of your website come through. So we will see that in HTML, the tag which is used for graphics to appear on a web page, the tag is the IMG tag. IMG basically stands for image, and in this there are three most popular formats which are supported by most browsers across the board. First is the GIF file or the graphics interchange format. The second is joint photographic expert group format, or which is commonly known as the JPEG files, and the next is portable network graphics format or the PNG format. It is important to note that the IMG tag is an empty tag, that is, there is no corresponding closing tag for IMG. So when you use the IMG tag, you only open the IMG tag and you specify the URL of the file or the image that you want to put on your website. That's it. There is no requirement for any closing tag. So IMG tag has a large number of attributes because you would like to control so many dimensions of the image. For instance, you would want to control the height of the image, you would want to control the width of the image, or you want to know whether a border is coming around the image or not, or how much space is being left around the image. So in order to control all these properties of the image, the number of attributes have been provided. So we will understand that like all other attributes, you will write IMG, that is the name of the tag, and then you will write the attributes. One thing to notice that the attributes are separated only by a simple space. So you provide the attribute name and equal to sign, and you provide the value to it. The next attribute will again follow with only a space in between the previous and the next attribute. So now here you can see the different attributes of the IMG tag. So the first attribute that we are seeing here is the alt attribute. Alt here stands for alternate actually, and you specify some text in the alt attribute. So this is actually a description of the image for those viewers who are using browsers which cannot process images. So there are a large number of browsers which do not support the images, or there are situations due to slow connectivity or due to some network issues that the images are not loaded or they fail to load. In that case, it gives a very absurd and it gives a very awkward situation. So instead of just showing that the image has failed, it is always appropriate to give a specific message to the user, which is generally provided in the form of the description of the image, so that even if the user is unable to view the image, he or she can see what the image is about. So this text is specified using the alt attribute. So you will write alt and you will write a brief description, maybe a one-line description about what the image is. Then the next attribute of the image is the width. So you can specify the width in two ways. Either you can specify it in the form of number of pixels, or you can specify it as a part of percentage of your total screen area. That is how much of the screen area you want or how much of the screen width you want the image to fill. Similarly, you have height. So height again can be specified in pixels as well as in percentage. Then another attribute is the border attribute. So in border also you specify the length of the border surrounding the image, the thickness, basically it is the thickness of the border which surrounds the image, and you specify the border also in pixels. Then you can specify the amount of space which is to be left horizontally around the image using the H space attribute, and the vertical space around the image can be controlled using the V space attribute. Then of course, there is the most important attribute, that is to align the image, how you want to align the image. Now when you are talking about alignment, we talk about different types of alignments. One is the alignment of the image itself, that is how the image is placed on the screen or on the user's window, that is towards the left, towards the right, or towards the center. Or you can also talk about alignment of text with respect to the image. Whenever we see any image, there is of course there is some corresponding text on the web page also. So you would want to control the appearance of that text with respect to the image, that is either the text should come towards the top of the image, or it should come at the middle of the image, or the text should come to the bottom of the image. So alignment can use all these values, it can be either top, bottom, middle, or it can be left or right. So here we will see how the image tag has been used and how the various attributes of the image tag are given. So you can see here the basic structure of the page is there. Of course, you have HTML head, etc. And in the body we are specifying an image. So you specify IMG and you specify the name or the path or the complete URL of the image in the SRC. Again the same point appears here. If the image that you want to load on your web page is in the same folder where the particular HTML file is, where this particular HTML file is, then you will only specify the name of the file, name of the image. But if it resides on another folder, or if it is on another source on the another resource on the internet, in that case you have to specify the complete URL or the complete path of the image file. Only then the image will load. So you specify how an image is inserted. Now if you want to show an image with text, then you will use different types of alignments. As you can see here, image align is equal to top will align the text to the top, image align is equal to middle will align the text to the middle, and align is equal to bottom will align the text to the bottom. So you can see how the output appears. You can see here an image has been inserted in between the text. Then you can see this is an image which is specified and there is no text in the second case. Then the third image which you see is using image align is equal to top. So the text is coming towards the top of the image. Image align is equal to bottom. So the text is coming towards the middle or towards the bottom. So depending on what image alignment you are choosing, the text will appear. Then you can also see how image is appearing towards the left and the right of the image of the window of the user screen. So if you write align is equal to left, the image comes towards the left, and if you write align is equal to right, so then the image will come towards the right. In this case again you can see that the source IMG SRC contains the complete path of the image file on the internet. So because this file is coming from some other internet source, so the complete path is to be specified, the absolute reference is to be specified. Then the alt attribute, as I just showed you how the alt attribute works. So in case you can see here, if the image fails, then a description of the file will come, or the description of the image will come in the alt attribute. Here you can also see that the height and the width of the image file has been specified in pixels. So this is a height of 238 pixels and a width of 183 pixels that has been specified. Then another important is image as a link. When we were discussing hyperlinks, we had said that a hyperlink need not necessarily be something like a text only, and an image can also act as a hyperlink. Now it is very simple to convert an image as a hyperlink. The only thing is that where you are specifying the linked text, you will just specify the image. So you can see here you specify a href and there is a file which you want to link, so that is the links.html file. Then you specify the image. So you provide the image source, width, height, etc., and then you close the A tag. So, you can see here that when the user clicks on the image links, then he or she is directed to another file. So, in this case the image has become a hyperlink to another web page. Now, how do you set the background of a web page? When you want an image to come or to appear as the background of the web page, for this you will use the image, you will put the image URL with the body tag. So, you specify body, background is equal to, and then you give the path of the image that you want it to make as the background. So, you can see here body background has been specified and the image name has been specified. So, the effect of this will be something like this. So, you can see here the complete background is filled with the image. So, this is about images. Now, we come to another important topic in web designing, that is tables. Now, tables are very important, not just to show data which is to be shown in tabular way, but they have deep significance in organizing your data or organizing your content on the web page. Table proved to be a very important and very good tool for aligning or for placing different objects on your web page. Sometimes it becomes difficult to control the positioning of each object on the web page when too many items are there to be shown to the user. So, a table will give us a very good platform or a very good interface to control the appearance of the different objects or the different elements on the screen. As we will understand that HTML is all about designing. So, we want to give the user the best visual experience possible. So, for that all these tools or all these elements of the HTML have to be incorporated. So, we need to put the images, we need to put the tables, and we need to organize the content in a way so that it gives the best visual appeal to the viewers of the website. So, coming back to tables now. So, tables basically, as we understand, these are two-dimensional structures which have rows and columns. So, in HTML also we will design tables by specifying the rows and by specifying the column. As the name suggests, the tag which is used by HTML for creating a table is the table tag, and unlike the image tag, the table tag is a container tag. So, you have an opening table tag and a closing table tag. So, you can see here in HTML tables are created using the table and the slash table tag. TR and slash TR tag is used to create table rows, and TD and slash TD tag is used to create data cells. So, basically TR will define the row and the data within each row will be defined by the TD tag, table data, table row and the table. So, you can see here a simple table has been shown and how it is constructed using the table tag. So, you can note here in the HTML coding we have written table and we have put another word with another attribute with the table tag, that is known as the border. It is important to understand that if you specify only table and you do not write the word border, then the table will not have any borders. That is, all the grid lines that you see in the tables will only appear if you specify the word border. And in the following examples you can also see that the border size or the border width can be controlled very easily with the help of this border attribute. So, you can see here we have used table border to define a table. Then we use the TR tag to show that the first row is beginning. Then the TD tag is specified to show the first column. Then you close the TD and you write the second. So, you write line 1 column 1, then the next line 1 column 2 and so on and so forth. So, after the coding for the 3 rows has been done, then the table tag is closed and then body and HTML are also closed. So, you can see here that how table has been constructed using table, a simple table this is, using table, tr and td tags. So, besides the normal table data that is being specified, we have often seen that tables, they have headings also. The column, the first row of any table is basically the headings row. So, table heading can be specified using the th command instead of the td command. So, you can see table heading can be defined using th tag. So, this tag will be used replace td tag, which is used to represent the actual data cell. So, what we do is normally we do it for the top row of the table, but you can use it anywhere else also. There is no hard and fast rule in HTML that th cannot be used at any other place. You can use it in any other row also. Basically, the effect of the th will be that the content that you specify in the th will appear in the center of the cell and it will come as bold. So, it becomes bold and it gets centered. So, you can see in this example how this has been done. So, you can see sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4 have become the headings. So, they are appearing in bold and they are automatically they get center aligned in the cell. So, you can see how in the tr, in the first row tr, instead of td we have written th. So, th makes the data appear as a heading. Heading means bold and centered. And then you close the tr and the rest of the rows you specify using td, because that is the normal data of the table that you want to show. Then after specifying or after creating a table that has a border or the grid lines are there, then you specify the rows of the table, you specify the data or the columns in the table. Now, HTML also gives us a feature in which we can control the spacing between two adjacent cells and also the spacing around the content in a cell. So, basically you can control the width of the space between the two cells, two adjacent cells, and also you can control how much space is there surrounding the data. So, this can be controlled using two attributes of the table tag, that is cell padding and cell spacing. So, cell padding basically represents the distance between cell borders and the content within the cell, and cell spacing defines the width of the border. So, they will adjust, actually these will adjust the white space in the table cells. So, I will show you an example how this is done. So, you can see here along with the table tag only, where you specify table, border, you specify the cell padding and the cell spacing. So, it is important to note in this example that we are using, in the first case we are using a cell padding of 10 here means 10 pixels and cell spacing is 0. Then in the next table we see that cell padding is 0 and cell spacing is 10. Then, so here you can see the first table that you see, this does not have any cell padding or cell spacing, this is a normal table. In the second that you see, you have a cell spacing of 10 but a cell padding of 0. So, you can see that the content is almost touching the borders of the cell, whereas in the third table you can see that a cell padding and a cell spacing both have been specified for 10 pixels. So, the cells are 10 pixels apart and the distance between the border of the cell and the content of the cell is also of 10 pixels. So, in the third case, as I told you, we have specified a cell padding of 10 and a cell spacing also of 10 pixels. So, this way you can control the look or the spacing between the contents of your table or the entire look of the table. Then we have often seen that there is a need to merge rows and columns in the tables. There are situations where you want to merge or you want to combine two columns into one, or you want to combine two rows into one. So, this can be achieved using another attribute of the table tag itself, that is Rowspan and Colspan. So, Rowspan and Colspan attributes these are specified with the TD tag. So, in the TD tag you specify when you want to merge the rows or when you want to merge the columns of the table. So, you can see Colspan is to merge 2 or more columns into a single column, and Rowspan is used to merge 2 or more rows into a single row. Now, we will see the example how Rowspan and Colspan is used. So, you can see here in the TD you write, along with the table you write TD, and in TD we have written Colspan is equal to 3. So, Colspan is equal to 3 means that 3 columns will be merged to form a single cell in this case. In the second table you can see here where we are using a row span. Row span of 2 means that 2 rows will be merged to form the single cell. So, the cell which we are talking about, we are specifying in TD, will have a merger of 2 rows. So, you can see in this case how this is appearing. So, this is the first case where we have merged 3 columns together. So, we write TD, in the first cell we write TD and slash TD line 1 column 1, then you write TD and you write Colspan is equal to 3 and you specify line 1 column 2 to 3, and the next TD remains the same. In the second table, as you can see, you specify in line 2 column 2 you specify a row span of 2. Row span of 2 means that the cells will be appearing as merged. So, the line 2 column 2 will be merged and the data will be shown only once. So, this allows the users to merge the cells merge 2 columns together and form 1 column, or to merge 2 rows together and form a single row. Then you can also specify the background image for a table. Now, tables can have background as an image, or the background could be a color also. So, the background of the table can be specified just like the background for the HTML page is specified. So, with the HTML page, in the body you specify the background, whether you want a color or you want a background image. Here again you specify the background with the table tag. So, you can set the table background using one of the 2 ways. First is BG color attribute. So, with BG color attribute, BG stands for background and color. You can set the background color for the whole table or just one cell. It is important to understand that table provides a very discrete way of structuring. If you want the color of the whole table to be yellow, you will specify table BG color is equal to yellow. If you want a particular row to be of a particular color, then the color is specified in the TR. And if you want each cell to be of a particular color, then you specify TD BG color is equal to the specified color. So, you can control the coloring of the whole table or of individual rows or even of individual cells. The same applies with the background image also. The background image can be specified using table background attribute, and you can give the source of the image file or the URL of the image file that you want to make as the background, and that background will be loaded. Again, if you want different backgrounds for each rows, that is also possible, although that is done a little less frequently because the image will not appear properly. So, you can see here how a background image has been specified. We write table background and you write the image name if it is in the same folder. If it is coming from some other source, from an external source, you provide the absolute address, and in this case we have also provided the border. Here it is important to note one more important tag has been inserted, that is the caption tag. So, the caption tag basically is used to provide a heading to the table. So, here the heading has been provided. Now, the caption can either be provided at the top of the image, which is the default setting, or if you want the caption to come at the bottom, then you can write caption align is equal to bottom. So, anything that you insert between the caption and the /caption tags will become the heading of the table, or which will become the title of the table. So, here you can see how it appears. So, in this case the background image title or the caption is appearing towards the top of the image, and another image you can see where the background has been inserted in the table. In the complete table the background has been inserted. So, here we have also seen another attribute where you can control the color of the border. So, border color can also be controlled, just not the color, the background color of the table, but the border color can be controlled using border color light attribute and border color dark attribute. So, this will provide a 3D effect to the border of the table. So, you can see here border color light and border color dark can be provided along with the table. So, besides this, the size of the table can also be controlled. Again, the size of the table can be specified by two ways. Either you provide the height and the width of the table in pixels, or you provide it in the form of percentage. So, percentage of the total screen area can be specified along with the table tag, or you can specify it along with the or you can specify it in the form of pixels along with the height and width. So, you can see here how height and width of the table has been specified. So, with this we conclude on our today's lecture on HTML. We will be continuing with other topics of HTML in the following lectures. Thank you for viewing.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so very much for giving us this session on web designing. Friends, you are requested to write to us at info.cec@nic.in if you have any queries. We will be meeting again very soon and would be discussing more. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.